Hey guys, what's up? It's QuarlWithCode, and in this video we're going to be working with activities and intents. Activities, as you know, are basically just the screens in Android. They just show the layout that's going to be shown with your Android app. Intents are basically the code that allows you to switch between activities. They tell the processor in the Android phone that you intend to switch activities. So if you look right here, I actually have an activity up that's the second activity, and it's a nice teal shade. If I click on the teal shade, you'll see another activity pops up that's titled Tutorial 11, and it's a beautiful shade of royal purple. If I click on the purple, the teal appears. I'm just switching between activities by clicking on the relative layouts associated with each activity. So let's go on and start a new Android project. We can call this Tutorial 11. We're targeting phone and tablet, API 15, blank activity, and you can leave the title main activity. Alright, so now that Android Studio is up and running, first thing I'm going to do is delete the Hello World text view. And then I can just set the background color for the relative layout by going to the background property and clicking the three dots to the side. We can go to the color tab and pick a nice shade of purple. I'm going to make it a little bit darker and click OK. And there we go. We have a nice shade of purple. Alright, so next we're going to want to go on and set up our second activity. We can do this by clicking on the arrow next to the Java folder and then clicking on the arrow next to the first com dot whatever yours says. And then you'll see we have a Java class that's the main activity. It's the main activity.java we see up here. So if we right click and we go to new activity, blank activity, you'll have a menu appear. We can just name this activity second activity and click finish. Alright, you'll see that now up here I have a second activity.java as well as an activity underscore second XML. That just shows that the second activity was in fact created, and now we have the layout open for the second activity. So now let's just do the same thing except make the background teal. So delete the Hello World text view, go to the background property, click the three dots, go to the color tab, and teal is in between blue and green for anybody that didn't know. So there we go. I'm going to make it a little bit darker and click OK. And there we go, a nice shade of teal. Alright, so now we can go back to main activity.java and we can delete these two methods. And I also forgot we need to set an ID for our relative layout. So you can just come over to the ID property and call it our layout. And then for the activity second XML, you can set the ID of the relative layout as our layout 2. Alright, so now let's go back to main activity.java and let's create a member variable for our relative layout. Alright, now let's set the member variable relative layout equal to relative layout find view by ID r.id dot r layout. Alright, and now for our relative layout we want to set an on-click listener. So we're going to do relative layout dot set on-click listener new view dot on-click listener. And the on-click method appears for us. Alright, so remember earlier how I said that intents are the things that actually have you switch between activities? So we have our Java code, but we actually don't have an intent. So let's go on and create an intent. So we can do intent I, and then inside the onCreate method we can do I equals new intent. And then we're going to need to get the context of the main activity. So we can do main activity dot this. And then we want the activity that we're actually going to be switching to. So we can do second activity dot class. And there we go. So again, we're just getting the context of the main activity, and since we're inside the main activity, it's just main activity dot this. And then we want the class of the activity that we're switching to. So we're just calling second activity dot class to get the class of the second activity that we're switching to. Alright, and now to actually switch activities, we want to do start activity I. Start activity just has you actually switch between the activities. And there we go. We have nice Java code that doesn't give us any errors, and that hopefully switches the main activity to the second activity so that the second activity actually appears on screen. So now we go to secondActivity.java. We can do the same thing, so delete the bottom two methods and set a relative layout variable, mRelativeLayout. Set mRelativeLayout equal to relative layout, find view by ID, r.id, rLayout2. And now let's set an onClick listener for this relative layout. Alright, and now we need an intent. And intent I equals new intent r.id. Oops, sorry, not r.id. It's second activity dot this, and then main activity dot class. Because this time we're actually inside the second activity, so we have to get the context of the activity we're inside, which again is the second activity, and then we're switching to the main activity, so we're doing main activity dot class. And then here we can do start activity I, and that should have a switch from the second activity to the main activity when mRelativeLayout is clicked. Alright, so let's go on and run the application. Alright, so I have Genymotion open, and you can see we have a beautiful shade of royal purple. So now let's click, and we get our nice shade of teal. It's a little bit lighter than the one I had before, but it's still a beautiful shade of teal. If we click on this, the purple activity appears. Alright guys, so thank you for watching this video, and thank you for paying attention while learning about activities and intents. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comments, or you can email me at QuarlWithCode@gmail.com. Again, thank you for watching, and please subscribe.